What's up guys,
Yo.
and welcome back. So we have just taken to our social media pages to try and help you guys out a little bit more. We have just been asking you for your specific questions about your training, your life, your diet, where you're going wrong, where you're going right, and how can we help you. So we have picked a few of our favourite questions which we think are going to help everyone. So let's get into it.
So the first question is a massive subject within the nutrition world. This one came in by Adam Kreger over on the Facebook page. How do we feel about low carb diets? Are they a good idea or a bad idea? So quite simply with low carb diets, yes, they have their place within the industry, but it depends, as we always say, on the person, the goal, and quite massively the approach that you take. So a classic example, say it was me or John and we wanted to lose a couple of pounds of fat and just get a little bit more ripped for the summer. If we turn around and drop our carbs through the floor, that is poor execution.
So let's look at where low carb diets can be beneficial and when they're not going to be so beneficial. So one of the main places that lower carb diets are going to work, this is with the grossly overweight population, people that are borderline diabetic and very, very large. Their insulin sensitivity is going to be very poor and their ability to utilize sugars, take them into the body and work with insulin is not going to be great. So we know carbohydrates get broken down into sugar, glucose, and then they get stored as glycogen. Basically your body, the cells of your body don't really want to take it in because they've been abused and your pancreas is just overworked. So same as with anyone who's got like an addiction to something, if you take it away, they start to kind of repair and they start to rebuild. If you sprain your ankle, what do? You don't run on it all the time because it just gets worse. So for people that are very overweight, you might take away carbs for a week, yeah? And their body starts going, oh, maybe I could try them a little bit now. You give them a little bit and they go, oh, okay, I can handle that. You take it away again. And then next time they go, oh, I can handle a bit more. And as their body weight comes down, their kind of sensitivity and their ability to take in carbs becomes a lot more efficient. So you've taken someone from almost crazy high carbs, down, and built them back up again to where their body's in a much healthier place. And that will take someone from being pre-diabetic back to a better kind of place.
So going back to my earlier example about the healthier population, someone who's just trying to get a little bit lean for the summer and dropping the carbs through the floor, it's not the most effective approach. You've got to think about your energy levels. Yes, your body can produce glucose via fat and protein, but ideally we don't really want to be making the body do more work than it needs to. So what we try to do is keep our carbs as high as we possibly can, if you can tolerate them, whilst still keeping the body into a slight calorific debt to burn fat. But you're going to have much better energy levels and performance output.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you want to take it one step further and you still want to have slightly lower carb days in there, you could carb cycle. Exactly. And then days that you don't train, just take your carbohydrates lower and you get the benefits of having lower carb days and you still get the benefits of having the higher carb days when you want to perform.
So Adam and the rest of the world, we hope that one helped.
Okay, I'm going to pick up my very cool laptop for this one because it's a little... Look at my cover. I've got an Iron Man cover which I'm absolutely over the moon with. So this one comes in from Ed Cornham. I'm a vegetarian. I've worked out my macros and I'm very happy with my results, but was wondering about any specific considerations I should take into account, please. Hello from New Zealand. All right, Ed.
First of all, you live in my favourite country on the planet, so well done for that.
So there is a few little kind of...
Consideration,
that's the best way to explain it, for vegetarians, which you kind of struggle getting a certain couple of vitamins and minerals. Basically, the main one is vitamin B12. So you struggle with getting this because you don't get it from meats as such. So you want to be looking for eggs, dairy, if you eat them. If not, you're going to be looking at spreads like Marmite, love it or hate it. That's going to have a bit of vitamin B12 in there. The other one is zinc and iron. So zinc and iron can be hard to find. You can find them in cashew nuts and tofu quite well, but you also have to be careful of phytates. So a lot of green plant, veg and stuff like that, they contain phytates in them, which basically almost stop your body getting the nutrients from the zinc and the iron, taking them in as well as they can. So if you take a little bit of vitamin C as well, that will make your body more available to take in those nutrients as well. So maybe consider taking a vitamin C supplement, have a look at your zinc and iron levels, and remember not to forget about vitamin B12. And that's pretty much all the considerations you need to take in for being a vegetarian.
And otherwise, it sounds like you're getting fantastic results. So as long as you're feeling healthy everywhere else, just keep it going.
Yeah, if your vitamin B12's low, you'll feel it because it has some really important jobs to do with red blood cells.
All right, so the next question is a brilliant question on the cool laptop, which John's just really trying to show off today. If you haven't seen our recent video that we've done with Nikki and Sammy, they talked about something very similar on their weight loss journey. So we'll put a link up and about so you can check it out. But in the meantime, Alex Kolev has asked, after going on a very low calorie diet for a very long period of time without proper exercising, I got left with some loose skin around my belly and back. Any ideas of exercises I should do to get more tone? So before we give you some exercises, we want to look at the reason as to why you might be in that position, because if there's people starting their journey, we can kind of try and help them not get to that point. So when you talked about the proper exercise execution, normally when people are a little bit overweight and they want to lose weight, the first thing they do, drop the calories through the floor is the first thing, and they become cardio bunnies. And so many people neglect the free weights. And we find it fundamental with anyone, whether they're trying to lose a pound or 10 stone, you need to keep lean tissue on. Otherwise, you're going to lose weight and you're going to lose fat, but you're also going to lose lean tissue.
And another important point on that as well is that protein is typically, people think of it as anabolic, which sounds like steroids and stuff like that. Not at all, it just means creating new tissue pretty much. As long as your calories are high enough, you are going to be anabolic, okay? So people go, oh, protein, anabolic, I'll cut that down. So they cut their protein down straight away, and then they lose even more muscle mass. And what you get is you get skinny fat. You take your calories away, your metabolism slows down, you lose a lot of muscle, so you've got pretty much no metabolism. So actually, when you diet, if anything, your protein levels want to be higher, because obviously you want to maintain that muscle mass, and also protein is quite thermogenic. So up to like 25% of the calories you get from protein, you actually lose as heat. So it's quite efficient when you're on a diet as well.
First thing you need to do is, as John was saying, bring your protein levels up to support that lean tissue growth. Second of all, get a really good rounded gym program. By rounded, we mean loads of compound lifts, loads of strength training, a little bit of building-based hypertrophy training, and activate that body and build some lean tissue.
You are hogging the screen, move over.
I am sorry.
Second point I would say is think about slowly building up your calories. If you can build a little bit of muscle, metabolism is going to speed up, it means you can have more calories in a day. You want to bring them up very slowly so you don't gain negative fat or negative weight, because that's the whole reason you dieted in the first place. So I'm talking very, very slow increments, like maybe 50 calories a week, and just slowly bring it up, nice and slowly, until you're kind of in a bit of a healthier position. It will take time, but by the end of it, you'll be sitting on an amount of food that you can eat and maintain. Okay, let's pick one more random one. Shane Hughes. I don't know if you can help, but as an athlete / sprinter, what would be ideal to eat as breakfast? Not just for competitions, but general diet. Thank you. Okay, so general diet days that you're not training are going to be pretty much the same as anyone else. If you like to have carbs in the morning, fine, have carbs in the morning. If you want to have low carb and have meat and fat, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't really matter. Days you're training, you're going to want to perform. This all depends on the distance of your sprint. So we obviously know we've got different energy systems, and up for 10 seconds, maybe 13 seconds of work, we're using our creatine phosphate system, which relies on creatine phosphate to resynthesize ATP, which is our energy currency of our body, adenosine triphosphate. That's what all our movements are run from, okay? So for someone like you in a 100-meter sprint, you are going to think about your nutrition, obviously, but you've seen Usain Bolt eating like chicken nuggets before. I wouldn't be so worried about your energy levels unless you're doing more than one sprint a day. If you're doing repeated bouts, then you're going to want to get plenty of carbs in. If you're someone who is running 300-400 meters and up, carbs become more needed to resynthesize ATP, which is our energy currency. So if you were just doing one race, which doesn't really happen, it wouldn't matter too much. But because you're training and you're doing repeat bouts of training, you're going to want carbs in for your breakfast on training days, absolutely.
So there you have it. That's all the questions we're going to do today. But if you do have any more questions, please comment them below.
Literally put tons of detail in them, because the more detail we see, we know how many calories you're on, what your previous diet was, the more we can help you. And I actually really like these questions because I like being put on the spot. That's why we've been doing a few Periscope Q&As recently. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please don't be afraid to give us a thumbs up. That helps us massively. Subscribe if you haven't, and we will see you this time next week.
See you later, guys.
Bye, guys.